I don't even know how to really start this video. I wanted to talk about self-love and accepting who you are. So this video, I wanted to initially make into a reel, but I feel like there's too many things I wanted to cover about it that it just doesn't really fit into a reel. It would be, or you know, just thought less editing, just be very, very vulnerable, I guess, to talk about shit like this for anyone to see. But yeah, I think self-love is extremely important. Accepting who you are. It took me years to do that. I never really liked who I was, never really liked how I looked, and all those things. You can change who you are, you can change the way you react to things, you can kind of change the way you look, but at the end of the day, that shouldn't be all that drives you, is because you're comparing yourself to other people, which is something I did all the time. I always compared myself to other people. I always was upset that I couldn't be a certain way because other people were that way. Like a massive thing for me is I used to be really sensitive. The thing for me is I used to be really sensitive. I used to let other things get to me because I didn't have a lot of confidence. And that's what it comes down to, is lack of confidence. And that's what kind of builds you to be quite sensitive, is because you don't believe in yourself, and people can break your walls down very easily because you're not confident in yourself. So it doesn't mean having an ego. There's a difference between confidence and having an ego, which a lot of people, you need to recognize that there is a difference to that. Being confident within yourself isn't about showing it to other people. It's for you, accepting who you are and being confident in who you are and who you're trying to be. If you're always aiming to be better, you're on the right track. You know, for me now especially, I'm not too hard on myself as I used to be, but I'm always aiming to constantly improve who I am and how I portray myself, how, all the things that are in my control, because I want to be the best person I can be for me and for the people around me, because I don't want to be, I don't want to be one of those people that, people think up themselves. I feel like I'm just rambling on a bunch of different topics without finishing what I'm even saying. Because I don't know, I didn't really structure this video. I just kind of was like, I should make a video talking about this shit and have no real fucking context or anything. But yeah, it's, the confidence comes with, it all falls in together. Because I'd look in the mirror when I was like 14, 15, 16, 17, and I would just hate myself because I hated how I looked. I didn't look a certain way, I didn't look like these people, and all these people who, would get a lot of attention and stuff like that, and I'd be very jealous of it because I thought, why couldn't I be like that? Why couldn't I get this shit and be like them? I never accepted who I am, and I'd always try and be like other people because clearly who I was at the time, I just wasn't happy with because I was too busy comparing. And if you keep doing shit like that, you are never going to be happy because you're always going to be trying to be someone you're not. All you have control of is who you want to be and who you can be. And if you keep striving for that and being a better person for yourself, not for other people, it all follows. And you'll feel so much better about yourself, and you'll find happiness within yourself. You'll be okay to be alone. You're not going to be seeking validation from other people, which is another thing that I used to do, which it sucked because I know sometimes I'd do it and I didn't mean it. I wasn't trying to talk about myself and try and boost myself up, but it just came out. And that's one thing I started to realize, is that it comes across like that. Whether it's just I'm trying to make conversation or just talk about shit and bring up topics of conversation, it ends up coming across like I'm just talking about myself and trying to boast, I suppose. I don't know. But in a form, it did come across as seeking validation, and I'd do it in a lot of areas because I guess, again, I just didn't have the confidence. I felt like I needed someone else to confirm it that what I did was good or shit like that. And it's not a good way to be, because you're constantly needing it from other people. And at the end of the day, you've only got yourself. At the end of the day, yes, you may have your friends, you may have your family, you may have all these people around you, but if you can't find it within yourself, it doesn't mean as much. You're constantly relying on other people. You need to find it within yourself. It's so much easier said than done. Trust me, I know. I've been hard on myself for fucking years, and constantly upset with who I am and how I look, never accepting it. Because at the end of the day, I'm not the most handsome person in the world. I'm not the most ugliest, but this is me. I can't. But you just, again, all those steps, eating healthier, being more confident, skincare routine, if you're doing it for yourself, that is the best place to be in. If you're doing it for other people, it won't last long, because you're not going to like that, you're not going to get that validation. And again, it goes back to that, because you're not accepting yourself, you're not finding it within yourself. Because the more you do that, you never really fully understand who you are, and you need to give yourself the time to understand who you are by being alone and doing shit like this. I am in a forest by myself, unemployed friend on a random Monday, just with the camera. There's people walking past, and that's why it makes me feel really weird. I'm talking about such a vulnerable thing. People are walking around, hearing me like, what is this guy doing? But I'm not hurting anyone, I'm not doing anything, so it doesn't matter. And I'm trying to get an important message across about accepting who you are and loving yourself. Let's talk about insecurity. I'm an incredibly insecure person, and trying to overcome that. Again, I'm not preaching as in that I've already overcome all this shit. I love myself to the max without being in love with myself, because again, that's the difference. It's, again, just accepting it. Like, oh, fuck, man. Too vulnerable right now. One of the biggest things about overcoming insecurities is accepting them. I think one of mine, fuck, man. Some of my insecurities are, and this again, this right here is helping that. Being able to, fuck, being able to talk about this shit for anyone to see, being so open, feels good, because it's like you're open to judgment, and you know it's going to happen, and you're just, again, accepting it. Because if someone's really going to judge me for this, they're clearly not happy within themselves to think that that's, something cool to do. But I'd say my biggest insecurities is I feel like I have a lazy eye. And in a lot of photos I've always seen of myself, or like if I've taken a fucking photo of myself, like a selfie or anything, I just constantly look, I don't know if it's my left or right eye, but I'm like, man, I look stupid as fuck. Because I just got this fucking stupid ass lazy eye. People said they haven't noticed it, but I'm like, obviously you look in the mirror and shit. Just, yeah, it's not, I don't like it, but I can't change it, I don't think. Can you change it? I don't know, but it, just accepting it, yeah, it's cool, I got a lazy eye. I don't like my smile, so a lot of photos I'm like, because I don't like my smile. I'd say another thing is probably body dysmorphia, because preparing for that comp, again, comparing yourself to other people is not the way to go. Because I see all these people who are 20, same age, and they just look incredible, and I'm like, fuck's the point, without hopping on any steroids. It's like, what's the point, even like being a PT, I've had people tell me like, oh, if you're a PT, like, how come you're not jacked? If you know everything about fitness, how come you're not jacked or anything? It's like, thanks. I'm trying my best. And, it sucks to hear stuff like that, I don't have the best physique. I'm not jacked, but I try. And it's accepting where you're at and where you want to be and connecting that. I think a big thing I've learned as well over the years is just self-love isn't only about shit. I don't know how to word it. Hold on, let me read to start. Self-love also a big factor to that, apart from obviously the accepting side, is also the respect. You got to learn to respect yourself. If you go around and let people push you around and shit because you're just trying to be nice and you're catering to other people and you're putting them above yourself, it'll only make you feel worse. That's kind of, it comes back to that confidence within yourself. And it's not really a thing like you need to be better and you need to like level and always compete with people to get that across that you're not less than them or some shit, because if someone looks at it like that, their opinion doesn't fucking matter. But having the self-respect to not let those things, get to you, or not let people treat you like that, because you know that, if you're going to treat other people with respect, that you should get that back. And if you don't, well then fuck those people off. There's no point keeping people around who don't respect who you are, what you stand for, and your goals, and whatever it may be. You should always surround yourself with those people who will always respect you and you give it back. If you're surrounded by people who don't, the last thing you want is for people to make you feel like you can't. I've dealt with it. When you're surrounded by people who don't take you serious, and it sucks, because I'm always trying to make people laugh. I'm always friendly and shit. At least I try to be. And when you kind of get shot down when you're serious, or no one takes you serious, like whenever you have something serious to say, and it's kind of like, oh, what? Like, dude, just keep being funny. Like, I don't want to hear your problems, or stop trying to, and you just kind of identify that. And it sucked. I've had a couple situations where I wasn't feeling the best and I just wanted to talk about it, and it just got shut down straight away. Like, oh dude, like, I don't want to hear this shit. Like, as a joke, but it kind of, I didn't like it. I didn't like the joke. It's like, oh dude, you're supposed to be the funny friend. Like, why are you saying that? Like, I don't want to hear you talk about shit like that. And I was like, wrong time. There's a time to joke about shit like that. And I was like, I was looking for some support. That's why it's so important to find it within yourself, because shit like that will happen and you can't help that. You can't help someone if they don't take you seriously. You can't fight. There's no point like trying to get someone to, because that just shows that they're immature, and you can't get that from people. Like, if they're going to be immature, it doesn't fucking matter. Surround yourself with people who are. And if you don't have anyone at the time who is like that, then learn to love yourself and do this shit by yourself. I think one of the big things with a lot of people, at least that I know, is stepping into that going to the gym by yourself. That's one example of it, where you kind of are relying on people around you to do, so then you can do certain things. You're like, oh, I need this person to be there so it makes it more fun and shit. So you need to learn to do this shit by yourself. You need to learn to accept to be alone. I used to run away from it all the time. I hated it because I didn't want to be by myself. I didn't want to, I didn't want to have to like sit there and like think about who I am and shit and get all deep with myself, because I was like, I don't like myself, so I don't want to be in that position. So I'm always trying to look for outlets to see friends and catch up with people, because why is this light in the... I'll just stand really far back. Why you just can't accept being alone. I just didn't like it. I hated it. Catching up with friends, family. If I wasn't doing something, I wasn't distracting myself, I was upset about myself. So it's like, if I'm not playing games, I'm not, seeing friends or going to the gym or anything, if I just end up at that point where I'm just sitting at home, I'm just miserable thinking about, I'm a shit person, I'm not good enough. And you can't do that. It is a terrible way to live. And I did it for fucking years. You don't want to get to that point. And again, there's a difference between confidence and cockiness and self-love to that. And you just need to find that within yourself and give yourself that time to accept who you are. And you'll feel so much better overall with everything in life. Whether it's people at work giving you shit, whether it's scenarios, whether it's you feeling like you're stuck. You being able to pull yourself out of it is so fucking important. No matter where you are, no matter what it is. No matter, you know, and always leveling with yourself that you've gotten through bad shit in the past, so you can keep doing it moving forward. There's no excuse, because the world won't stop for you. As much as it sucks, whatever, if you have a massive pile of shit and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse, I know what that feels like. It fucking sucks. But there's nothing you can do about it. The world won't stop for you. As much as you want it to, as much as there's been times where something shit's happened, I'm like, I just want to call off work and I want to do this and just sit on my ass and then maybe that'll make me feel better and eat whatever I want. No, it won't. It'll make you feel fucking worse. You let yourself give into it and try and find a way out rather than going through it, because you should be confident in yourself that you're stronger than that. I honestly don't know what else to say. I feel like I've covered a lot of things, but I do really like this type of video. I don't know if anyone's actually going to watch this thing all the way through, because it's just me rambling on about insecurities and vulnerability and all that shit. I don't even know if the video's going to make sense, because I've just been rambling. just been yapping about shit. But yeah, I hope if you did watch this all the way through, I hope seeing me talk about vulnerabilities and stuff maybe has helped you open your mind to certain things. Because yeah, you know, you might see online everyone's always happy and shit, and you're just like, damn, why do I feel this way? Like, does no one else feel like this and shit? And I'm like, I'll post about it. I don't care if it, you know, everyone's like, bro, what the fuck's he talking about? It's like, just be real with myself and putting myself out there. So, yeah. But if you have watched this all the way through, thank you. And I really appreciate you for listening to me ramble on about random shit. And yeah, it's a bit different from the content I usually put out, but I don't give a fuck. I'll see you in the next one. Someone gave me strawberries today.